The balance of 1.8, while giving us some of what we really needed right now, does miss the mark. The balance for this update was supposed to be focused on fixing characters with high burst, and while they did keep to that theme, they either didn't go about it correctly, didn't do enough, or didn't do anything at all, and I'll explain what I mean as we go through this video. So let's get started with what they did to Roxas. Heads will roll is now Corrupted Cylinder, and it no longer grants bonus damage. However, it does still give more bullets, but instead of only 2, it now gives 3, upping the total amount of bullets to 9 in the mag. Now, this is one of the things I think they handled pretty well. The crit damage was very high and could make for some very fast kills. It was also more often than not random with how the hitboxes work in this game, only really ever being consistent against tanks with bigger heads like Makoa or Barrack, allowing you to take them on, and a flank really shouldn't be able to take on a tank like that. Tanks are supposed to counter them and peel them off their allies. What I really praise them for is for power shifting here. They took the bonus damage but gave him some power back by giving him another bullet, and that's how it should almost always be handled. Unfortunately, this is one of the only few cases of that in this update. Next, we have Drogos, and this is probably the worst of the balancing. Firespit's damage was reduced from 1000 to 900, and Salvo's AoE was reduced. Now, there is a lot wrong with this. Firespit itself was not the problem, it was combustible. Combustible is a very good and strong talent, offering mass displacement and bonus damage. Instead of nerfing Firespit, which has been fine for the longest time, hit Combustible. As for Salvo, there was a time when this was the most useless ability in the game, and I'm not exaggerating. Bugsy himself refused to use Salvo and heavily advised everyone else to not use it as well. When was this? Well, this was back before Salvo received a buff to its AoE back sometime in the OB40s. So basically that buff was undone and Salvo feels about as weak as it did back then. Now notice how both Firespit and Salvo were nerfed. What's the combo that everyone hates? Firespit Salvo. So instead of dealing with Firespit Salvo directly by making it so Salvo can no longer detonate Firespit, they decided to nerf abilities. This is such a poor way to go about balancing something that nobody wants in the game anyway. Incredibly disappointing. Next is Viktor, who had the damage bonus removed from Shrapnel. That was it, they didn't give him anything in return. But this is one of those rare instances where that's okay because the talent was so blatantly stacked. Viktor with that talent should never be outdamaged under nearly any circumstances because it offered him the easiest to confirm burst in the game. It's impossible to miss, has a fast projectile speed, and does 950 a grenade. In public games, Viktor is one of the strongest DPS characters in the game right now, and you could argue that he's like that in coordinated games too. He was even a bit of a sleeper pick. Now with this nerf, he'll have reasonable damage and it'll still be able to poke at people around walls to keep them in combat and soften up groups of enemies. He also won't be a top tier public game pick anymore, and that's good because a character this basic should never be top tier. Not with all of the interesting mechanics all the other characters have. Next is Furia, who received a sound for Solar Blessing so people can hear it coming. This is good, it makes it more viable in public games. However, Furia still needs her right-click cooldown nerf reversed, because even in coordinated play where people can communicate when her beam is coming, Furia still isn't picked. I cannot remember the last time I was in a scrim with a Furia. It's easy to draft counters to Furia's beam, and once you have those early game counters, her value plummets. Next is Lex, who got several things. Damage reduced from 350 to 320, ammo increased from 10 to 12, and way less damage fall off. In Pursuit also had its total damage reduced from 1050 to 960. So from what I've played, his range is really good. However, he does kill a 2000 health target in 7 hits instead of 6 now, and that's base, not counting any of the talents. 7 is a bit long, but the distance I was accurately hitting people at for high damage probably makes up for it. I think this is a solid power shift. I'll need some more time to play with it though to get my final thoughts. Willow's Nightshade damage was reduced from 800 to 500, and Dead Zone's lingering anti-heal when you walk out of it now lasts 1 second instead of 2. So with this nerf, the burst combo does 1000 instead of 1300. This is good, however there was no power shifting here at all. Remember before Nightshade how Willow was never picked at all and looked at as a troll pick, even with how good Dead Zone is? Well, that could easily happen again now, especially since Dead Zone is weaker now. Also, I'm not positive if this is a bug. It's on live right now and it's still on PTS right now as well, but Willow's ultimate is very slow. It's about the same speed as her walking speed, making it the single most useless ultimate in the game, even below Skye. It was already incredibly easy for any of the multiple hit scan in the game to kill Willow in her ult. Now it's just, I don't know, what's easier than incredibly easy? I could probably put my dog on the desk and him walking around would kill Willow in her ultimate. I'm happy that her burst is gone, it needed to go, but Willow needs some love elsewhere. Give her that power shift. Nerfing half of our blasters so hard is not good. Blasters fill a very important role in this game and they all need to feel strong. The last thing is Kinessa. Eagle Eye's bonus was reduced from 50 to 25%. So you deal 2,100 crits now and your ult brings that up to 2,700. It can still one-hit without her ult, but not very many things. Only certain flanks who lack health cards. Now this needed to happen, however it also needed a power shift, and there was none. So now there is zero reason to pick her over Strix. Strix is now blatantly better than Kinessa in a variety of ways. That kinda sucks, especially since he's way easier than Kinessa. Now, something is missing. They were targeting constant high burst, but nothing was done to Cassie or Dredge? Nothing at all? That's unfair, and all these characters losing their burst make those two even better. Cassie needs to lose her burst too, while also giving her a power shift. And Dredge, I think you can go ahead and nerf him without giving him anything. I think. Not too positive on that one. I think you can nerf him in a way that doesn't make him bad, but makes him way less spammy and annoying. Scuttle and Broadside would be the things I would personally target. Now again, this update was focused on high burst, so I won't fault them for avoiding other major balance issues like not toning down reveals or not fixing weaker characters, like some of the flanks, especially Skye, Maeve, and Moji. I don't know why they didn't buff Moji so people could have fun with the cuddly skin since it's a gift from above, but I'm not gonna fault them. Now I do expect them to tackle these problems in the next few updates though. They did say on Reddit that they were going to look at reveals soon, so that's good. Don't forget about the bunny though. Please love the bunny, don't abuse the bunny. Anyway, what do you guys think of the balance? Think it was enough? Not enough? What would you like to see balanced and why? And as always, console player insight is always welcome. Just let me know that you're talking about consoles. And that's pretty much it guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate it. Now I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.